That the pain-piercing little frowns tightly together. It's hard to understand why. What do you say? That 10,000 Fang said. That year, your father was still alive. I made a pact with someone. At the time of the Vu Cup this year under the moon. The morning we met at the Black Castle, now it's time. But because Cao doesn't see the shadow. And peeing his hands up. Pointing to the big cinnamon tree in the west. Whether it's the other person or not. 10,000 wind tremor. Suddenly raised his head. Looking through the flashing shadows on the cinnamon tree. A white photo body sitting in the moonlight. He laughed to say, most of the souls are dead. Unseen harmony of the late lay. Understand feudal feather decline moon. Nam Lam Tuet entered the dream of his body. His white shirt seemed to blend in. With surrounding circumstances, like a fairy from the moon's glow. On his face was a lonely look. He said, I know today that I am dead. This time to the dark. I can't believe it's empty. Wearing 1,000 hats. How long has this day come? I did it myself without realizing it at all. His faith is truly improbable. He was afraid to say that the person who came was A Yang. The white shirt frowned a little. It doesn't matter whether you say yes or no. The main thing is that God is dead. He missed this trip in the dark. He said, hold up your middle finger. Make an act of contempt. On the face of the 1,000 wines full of black glands sarcastically said, your family is still close. How could I miss a date with you? The white man said. The man promised. Even if you die, you have to give up. See, your desert has no faithful people. I don't want to be executed like that. On his face there was a look of dissatisfaction. Wanting to leave slowly came a feeble voice. That Pi threw shivering standing out of the mausoleum. His legs trembled a lot. But there's not an hour of pain. He has a high voice. My father's agreement with you. I come to my father's covenant. I don't miss an appointment. Even though we are all faithful. The white man in contempt peed through the face. Smiling softly said, your son wants to replace your father. 35 Say it later. Wear 1,000 hats for this occasion. Hurry up and say the. This person is my son. The Lord asks you one thing. I can see his face as a disciple. Take him out of the city or not. The body of the white shirt really belongs to Feiyang. He looked over and said, praise be to God. But in the evening you are joking. This guy is normal to the extreme. It is too difficult to advance the martial emperor in this life. How do you throw this entanglement? In the heart of the emergency. Urinal piercing situation. I can't stay in the dark now. He said you gave up on me. I don't want to see the gods. The state of the land of God is determined. Or you just need to be a disciple. I'll show you. It's an incredible sight to wear. 7 sutras say thousands of wind urge impossible. Thien Trin Hao, it is the biggest secret of the family. If it comes from you. Of course, unsuspecting death. It is also related to the original flower, judges and their female. I think the enemy will be moved. Will at least hesitate to decide. But without expecting the enemy to despise. Laugh more ridicule. The Holy Spirit suddenly decided. There is only God and God. I don't know how many years there, to know the essence. Others beat out shame. If you say a good word, it's dog shit. If we look at it, we will give birth to contempt. You? With his face full of anger, he had no other choice. He's cold but I feel inside scared. Even though he's in the sun, face stiff. On my forehead sweating as cold as a pea. Sorry to bother the president. Li Venzi laughed and went to the hotel. Even if Cao wants to use People's Song Dynasty transmission, he also came here waiting for him. Bad. Devil. But Master Shaokyu, we are also unscrupulous. He wiped the cold sweat on his forehead. Please help me look through the pitiful picture. Li laughed and said. I told you that day not to look into this. Lord Lin just let go for a moment. If these two brothers, whoever they are, it can also kill him. The family behind you too. Giant monster like a maple leaf. The decision is in the hands of the enemy. I can't blame the two of them. I dare not look at the two brothers. Directly look through the reason Van Zi laughed. Lack of invitation to come in. You can go at any time. Very good reason for an hour. People go to the center of the trade. A great song battle transmission is starting. Waiting for someone to come in. He doesn't have a measure. No, there is no north match allowed. Nobody can go either. At this time, there is a cold sound. The lights are coming down. Standing on the French stitch. Gradually reveal some of the body image. One person in there. Full body flare needle observed below. He looked through the cold shoulder. To kill my elders and steal my God's will, that be piercing said. Lots of museums. I want to go. This person is the owner of the North. Hoa Mausoleum. In the back there are some of the North's elders. Army talks aren't in there. But tomorrow I will follow. It has some parts to it. In front of home mausoleum, he stood on his face full of cold and hubris. I urge you not to ask him. Speak softly and quickly to meet you. You have a grudge against the North. I haven't paid clearly yet. Li said that Ra is Zhang. Your words I don't like to hear. To kill the elder is to negotiate the wrong way. It seems to me that when I accidentally get there, about the museum, at that time, everyone was here. There seems to be no objection. My father used to say that you know what not to say. He said something to John. Everybody's looking at each other with their mouths open, especially the business people who can't laugh. Tron Lumho shouted coldly at the lake language disorder. Get out of the museum and get out here. Then follow me back to the north to wait for the deal. And everyone feels tremendous pressure. It's a little hard to adapt if we start a war here. People who say they don't know. I'm afraid the trade union is the most involved. But Lord Lin, on the contrary, was not worried. The inner laugh is always cold. I wish Trong was aggressive. A little more disturbing. Because he saw the magic of the urinal. Started not right. Li said in surprise. Secret delivery and museum. Go back and wait for it to be dealt with. Who opened his mouth to praise? Your mind has shit flowing to you. Or the practice has been damaged for a long time. Everyone was sweating profusely in a cold sweat. Martial Emperor in the city of Southern Fire absolutely can't touch. He said that two people would dare to stop the Emperor. Before that, he acted on the contrary, to escape. I am afraid that this time I will be angry. Once you move the handle, there's probably no real bravery. Let's go. They are the fish in the water. Because he is the enemy, he is always on guard. If you find the situation is not right, they will run away first. My face is also cold. The condensed air into the dragon screaming. Anger says I don't know the sky is wide. Bring 5 elders today. Let's lock this space together. I see him doing a good job with 1,000 Watch you run away. After he heard the land talks report, he decided to teach first. Then talk later if there is no teaching. The more this boy will not be disrespectful. Pepper holds the chemical pull god. There is no sure way to save the enemy. This time with 5 elders. Power is not trivial. Ancient Feiyang expressed not salty not pale. By the time he gave the order, he had flown then out. Hit some tricks. 5 people cordoned off space no matter who, 100 meters. Don't bother to leave. Unless the real force can outsmart 5 spies. I know very well that your background is not ordinary. But the celestial martial world. It's not your backyard. I want to tell you how high the sky is. How thick is the soil? Smiling softly said. Just like when Trong Malho finished speaking. The dragon-shaped emperor was screaming constantly. It's like the angry emperor flying straight down. The whole world changes. Many people are so afraid of 2 legs. Never stop running away. But the space here has been sealed off. So I can only hide away. There is no way to leave the battlefield. That piercing finally moves. The boy also knows how to use magic. In his eyes, someone dared to mess with his master. In his heart, he also sentenced to death. I don't know the sky is wide. I salute for an hour. The 2 fingers of the sword suddenly moved without a point. A sword of light came out of his finger, for a moment like a rainbow. Fly to the four sides of the wall. Jiang's gas platform. Your family except your father Ra. Hoa's tomb continuously defeated before Quang's sword. The light sword rushed through and the air dissipated. If the light sword breaks the dragon air, continue to shoot directly at Trong Mao Ho, although it looks very beautiful. It's cooling off again, causing people to panic. Carefully look through. Then discovered. Around the Quang sword there is a space crack. So small. Find the second useful person. The body of the urinal membrane sinks into a sword-wielding finger to the extreme. On the other hand, the horse is too scared. I don't know where this fake came from. Akia's sword like a bamboo chop shattered his air base. Moreover, there is a tendency to take his life. He's got to hands. He shot out a light sword. His inner self is now terrifying. There is only one person who can fight him. Plus you are a humble giver. I have just entered the martial arts world. I've never fought with another emperor. I don't know the depth. For a moment his inner self became restless. Only sword fight only sword. The two forces collide with each other. Beaten out of a dark black hole, the sight of terrorism makes people ecstatic. Dare to act on their own. In the interior of the great town. Follow the rolling AI. In the vague. Find out that the enemy is above you. Under the urgent situation with a sword up in the sky. The most indignant is the sword of heaven. 8-stage air is poured by the martial emperor force. Has increased its power to the extreme. The fight is not without 9-stage air suspension. But with the power of Trong Mao Ho right now, there's no way to start. There is basically no way to use it. Reluctantly deployed, it's not as good as the 8th-stage. This sword has been hidden for the rest of his life. The whole world changes. His face was panicked. He also hoped for both conflicts. But I still don't expect the Thai trade to blow. It's obviously late. This sword covers a range of several miles. That the space is sealed off. Who can escape? A sword of Trong Mao Ho. I don't know if it was intentional or unintentional, and yet the implicit intention is to kill everyone. You have just entered the martial arts world, and you are still young. Right hand in front of you. An extreme scheme formed. Yin-yang fish running inside. Suddenly there was a scream in the air. He points a finger down. Instant stimulation. A sword of light condensed at the tip of the finger. And then does not hit the celestial sword of Trong Mao Ho. This sword is not powerful. It is as beautiful as Trong Mao Ho's, but directly smashed the opponent's empire. A loud explosion was born. The whole world turned to dust. The space in the birth hospital twisted. The 5 elders jointly arranged the space. Broken 5 people are too scared. Constantly risking their lives. Prevents the remaining sound of the air sword. But still fly out thousands of meters. His mouth is covered in blood. He's obviously injured. 5 people were terrified. 7 people gathered behind the terrified Trong mausoleum. Looking through the thin membrane beneath. Face color Trong Mao Ho. 2 people go out. I don't like it as much as I do. It's pale as water. The right hand holding the sword trembled. The light on the sword is gone. Trong Mao Ho holding a trembling sword, although he is very controlling. But he couldn't escape the eyes of the elders. In the interior, there's a big wave. It's still hard to calm down. 2 players, 2 moves. It's the north and the west. Not to continue the attack. It's a quiet space. The first break of the silence. He said he had just entered the military. They think the world is invincible. People like you in 6 don't know how many. I want to claim the emperor. Go back to the north of your village. In front of the missing. Then you don't have this status. Look at the eyes on the person wearing the 1000 wind. Trong Lun Hoa, his face is unsightly. The swordplay match just now. Outsiders don't see anything. But he understands. I am not the enemy of the man in front of me. But the irony of the urinals is that people panic. There seems to be a very low level of performance. Trong Mausoleum Hoa indeed collected the radiant atmosphere. Lower your voice. Who are you? That the western flask is cold. What does this have to do with rational disorder? That P. Piercing said. What do I have to do with you? What do you want to say to the missing person? Roll down here and talk face to face. If you don't leave, People look at you like you're not familiar. The northern disciples changed tone, but in the vaguest sense of the force of this person, even the cardinal became temperate. Thousand Feng. In their hearts they think, it's over, this time it's insulted. It's steamed anyway. People are terrified too. I don't know where this guy came from. More than the power of heaven. They can fight at least the emperor. Only Lord Lem laughed. I wish the storm would break through. A chief took pictures of dead flowers. You have the courage to be a great patriarch. Then the whole of South Korea will in front of the urinal. Through the bow and bow posture is redundant with Van Zili. Inside more and more terror endlessly. More and more consistent. Van Pepper is a great power disciple. Bring everyone directly down. Trong Mausoleum Hoa looked through the complex Van Pepper logic saying the lack of determination, which is the great study of northern duel. Dare to bring the noble school to reveal. I hope that the lack can be overcome. He now finds out. All plans are useless. Turned into pleading with the enemy. Everyone's fainting. Though Emperor Cao Cao at the top, the broken one, the situation is weaker than people. Even the emperor must bow down. Now there's not just magic. The face of the thousand wind changes. Turned into a demand for revenge. Even about elders and museums, not to mention. It's such an important decision. I don't know how much Zhang intended to pay. After hearing the words of the Lord, he immediately rose to his face was filled with laughter. This crime he cannot bear. He immediately denied that the old man had died. Talk needs evidence. Good, you are waiting. Wait for me. I don't know this guy. Let him confess to you. The family's great school conspiracy. Look how defensive you are. The two of them, even though they heard it. But they haven't been able to meet their eyes for a long time. Even though he said that he was not sure if anyone believed him. On the face with the spirit of contempt. Looking up at the cinnamon tree. Have you ever heard of this name or not? Right, Kabak. But the heart is so good. The black man seemed to hear it. It seems that there is also a bit of a dark reputation. There was a 9-star emperor. We're naturally great on the body. We can't fight. So why now? Ha ha ha, that the West laughing, said Ka-uncle. So why don't you go up and teach martial arts practitioners should have the spirit, not afraid to learn. Yes, Father. That I despise going up to the neck of the ocean. In his eyes, he's just a grasshopper. It can be crushed at any time. I think the West is doing well this time. The old man knows. Wearing 1,000 wine to reveal I will definitely tell him to go home. Decided. The color of the face of the 1,000 wines. It's called going home. It is naturally his downfall. Kabak great joy. Say thank you, Father. He is the head of the village. There is no dignity. Cultivation of the Virgin suddenly decided. This is still his illness. Think of the gods. He can't laugh, ha. My son, thank you this time. She looked at them and laughed at herself. It's a little wordless. Laughed and said to nerds. I was so angry that I really wanted to die. I want to see God suddenly decide. Not in my whole life. Han Niet is silent and silent. His hands flashed. A perfect blue sword appeared. It radiates cold air under the moon. Not cut down. 9 heavens air under the executioner struck down. The full moon condensed in the sword where the moon's light is falling. Even though Kabak has contempt in his heart. But the enemy is also the emperor. Even though Kabak still has no contempt for the enemy, the desert into black gear. Although not equal to the 7 superpowers raging the 6th, but it's also one of the great families. Count on your fingers. The owner of the house is a natural enemy. Is mighty generous. The mood of the desert of the 1,000. Kabak desert cut this one. If in exchange the other person can't move, even if he uses the Holy Spirit, he will decide. Nor dare to stop. Young's neck is still cold. He used the moon flower separate the air knife raw, then hit raw right. Straight to the sword. Emit the sound of 2. tearing the silence of the night. What Diamond writes. People in the hospital opened their eyes. Ancient Feiyang uses the French adventure, relaxed rarely seen. Make the interior. Wearing the West together. Wearing thousands of wind and waves. But the moment the sword is brought down, he used diamonds again. The power that martial artists in the world hit the arm that Kabak paralyzed. The atmosphere on the person has a feeling of dissipation. Use this trash weapon. Come here to fight me. You only have a little bit of this or so. When she finished saying this, she stepped pieces forward. Of yellow seal. Directly beat the corpus luteum hit him in the chest. But now you're flying like a kite breaking a rope. Repeatedly crashed against the walls. Lies in a pile of unknown life and death. The whole night was quiet, scaring people. The West even forgets to explore the future of its children. He dare to believe the truth. There is no way to receive it either. Two soldiers fighting. Either way, the ice is frozen and the sky is broken. They even destroyed half the city. He did well. Prepare to release the raw signal. Open the defenses in the city, to avoid affecting too much. But she still stood silently on nothing. Said coldly. Does anyone want to go up or not? High immediate reaction. That the Western 7 business continuously retreated to the back. There's almost no way to stand up straight. The sky is still in shock. In his eyes full of terror. It's stupid to stand there. There is no spirit in my eyes. It's just amazing to look. In his heart born a desire, determination. You have to make this person a master. You must learn the skill of this person. You can find the sheep for revenge. By the way, Tung Lam Jian is arrogant. The enemy of the sword is undefeated. There's ancient poetry echoing through the air. A cloud of blue light appeared. Endlessly spinning in the air. Gradually softened. A move that just shocked the entire family. The Highlanders are coming. In the meantime, they're all under the ground. They're all desert people. The other 5 elders also quickly arrived. People see the blue light. Then he said, "Welcome to the old man. In the Tet Bente ward has been restored. The spirit of the world moves forward to worship one." The 2 legs wearing piercing have completely lost consciousness. His whole body is blood standing there. It's like an independent body standing there. The aura slowly turns virtual. A body of avant-garde leads to, in the hand of a jewel. Every time you take a step, there's a rule in it. Just like in heaven and earth. He is the embodiment of the rule. Every movement is martial arts. Everyone panicked. The old man gave his leg to the Lin family. But even the 6 great elders. I don't know how many years. I can't see the old man's legs. I only know that the old man still practices in the Black City. They don't even know the end of the world location. His body was also swept away. Instead of burning, excitement is running in the blood. He seemed to have found the old man who opened his mouth. I heard you comment before. The virgin suddenly decided. Seems to be extremely disdainful of our martial arts masters. The desert no one can. Training the virgin suddenly decided. To the end of the day, I will make a covenant. The next talent that appears is you. People are scared. 7 All the people in the desert broke out. What is his identity? Who are you? Except for the chief of the 7 superpowers. Or the ruler of the saints, with the god of Hijah in the world. No one is fit to fight him, old Feiyang said with a smile. It's interesting after all. You are fit to fight me a battle. The words are so wild. The 4 sides of anger gritted their teeth. The West also said angrily, "What right do you have to fight the old man? You can see a portrait of the old man. It has been the greatest honor of your life." He said this in the hands of the Lord. It's just a little itchy. But in the hearts of thousands of disciples. Then it's true. A lot of post-keratosis. I've never seen him in my whole life. Let's say Qi is the Lamb cult. In the meantime, thousands of people are excited. You are not the enemy of this man. The old man said a word. Immediately like cold water against the heart of the disciples. But that's what the old man said. They won't doubt the 10 parts. The old man looked over his neck and said, "In the background except for fighting, I see you have the greatest gift. It is not to say that your grace is higher than God's. The battle of the day. The 6th generation will have your reputation. She said the fire chief talked a lot. I couldn't wait. That day in the holy city of Lem, I've never seen a god of battle. It's really regrettable. You should make it up to me today. He said, as you wish. In his hands pulled out an extreme hands project. Up, feet. It is the Holy Spirit in the midst of heaven, his extreme martial arts. It all happens in his hands. Suddenly the first decision. The red moon stopped shining. BDSM babes in his hands turned out. Rose bare 1,000 cane. Endless darkness retreats. Turned into a 7-colored aura that illuminated the places. A condensed current of light radiating the bright moon. Feiyang's face stopped weighing. I dare not be subjective 5 fingers at all. Tell the sword not to fly. In universal bar handles. Chain sword C and 9 HOA rotating. The sword gasifies into 9. They're arranged in criminal shapes in the air, blocking all the aura. At this time, each jade sword from the lotus flower shot out. Feiyang's sword transformed. The sword in his hands are fixed on the sky. In the dark there are thousands of lights like showers, turned into a huge sword, slashing into extreme babes. Ancient crystal claims not the spirit of his ancestors also changed. Swordsmanship. Sudden extreme babes Yin fish mobile onto arms. Turned into a jade sword, sweeping through all the aura and hitting God's that one sword. Decision. The wind of the sword. 2 air swords carry around suddenly. The whole world turned into a covered sword. Everyone is immersed in this high will sword. It seems that in all heaven and earth there is only the sword of light. There's nothing left. A virgin suddenly decided the wind of the sword. 2 air swords carry with you suddenly, around the heavens. Turned into a covered air sword. Everyone is immersed in this high will sword. It seems that in all heaven and earth there is only the sword of light. There are even people under this hilarious sword who break through. Enough to make it black. The whole city is ruined. Everyone under the shining air sword closed their eyes. Never stop retreating. Stop your hands. The sound of the old man's weight stops. The next fight will completely destroy this black hole. When the old man shouted, the sword filled the sky for a long time. It gradually turns black. Restore blue. The normal darkness. The moon's light shines down. They are no longer as arrogant as before. Just like after the sword fight, I was more careful. Young's neck is still white as snow standing in the sky. The sword in his hand disappeared into every ray of light. It's no different than the fireflies that surround you. The old man suddenly decided it was NDTO. But if it wasn't for you, you'd beat me by 1. This method is not equal to my sword. People around are terrified. Open your eyes. You only see it as a losing battle. But no one knows what the truth is. This moment. When you hear Feiyang say that, you are constantly terrified. He was silent for a long time, sighing, not a few more years. I am not your opponent. These words are like rocks thrown into the lake. Gives birth to tremendous vibrations. The whole family. Anyone who hears it is terrified. The 6 elders became more and more ecstatic. The old man is the spiritual pillar of the Black Desert. Higher than the head of the superpower. The world today. There is only the holy land of the 7, dared to beat the old man 1 step. But at the moment, the old man said he wouldn't fight this man strong in a few years. So strong, this guy is strong, only to matches, but it's permanently etched into his heart was born a powerful sound. I must worship this man as a master. You must make him a teacher. That way I can overcome my father. Defeat the enemy. I pray that you will make me your disciple. Under the bright moon. All the sounds are muted. Immature voice of the urethral membrane transmits raw. He fell to his knees in deep silence. Boring is burying in the ground. Losing face. A loud shout of anger caused by wearing a Western vase shouted. Shame on others to be a teacher. Don't even come back to me. His face in the wind stopped, and he went forward. I can't wait to get on one knee. Ancient pleading at Feiyang. Let me show you the face of his father. I ask you to pee. This time the whole country is in trouble. The Holy Spirit is the great elder. He knelt on one knee in front of her. It scares everyone. They also made 6 of the elders change. In the eyes of angry God, as people pay attention to an old-time master still yelled. It's my death. Not even stand up. When he looked at the sky, he ignored even on this one knee. He was dismissed as an elder. They are even more severely dealt with because he's peeing through it. He doesn't care. She knocked on the head and said, "AI. This is a problem for me. We haven't talked about whether we're in love with God, but I can see that his power is not ordinary. I want to fight a little. This child is too ordinary. I will overcome my father." That piercing steady shout. I will overcome my father. Then defeat your father. Oh, Feiyang's pupils shrank slightly and laughed softly. How does your boss feel? This is your comedy. Not until then. They say we kidnap people wearing raya and go around the world. It annoys me. The old man looked at the urinal and slowly opened his mouth. If you are willing to follow you, please accept him as a disciple. I also replaced his lost father thanks to you once. The old people are terrified. I can't believe even the old man said this. This time the 6 elders are more silent. Words. It's like wearing 1,000 vines on your knees. It's not about losing face. Yang said that casually. Let's try once for a while. But she is not young. I also don't want to collect trash. I take you somewhere. If you can pass the test, I will make you my disciple. That pee through the great jubilee. While momentary care of the emotional sprawl, to tearful eyes fell. Loud voice. I will definitely understand. It doesn't pass the test if it doesn't pass. I didn't marry you either. She looked at him coldly and said, if not through, you don't have a chance to marry me. In the heart of the 1,000 winds startled. Suddenly the Bible says, where do you want to take him? He is the only child of the sea. We can't hurt him. She laughed coldly and said so. Then stay with him. Penetration of the Feiyang. Hurry up and say 1,000 words. We can definitely pass the test. Let him be a teacher. Don't worry. The face is extremely difficult to see. Tell me where you want to take him. She raised her head and looked far away. In my mouth, I say 3 cold words. It's amazing. These 3 words seem to be extremely powerful. Makes all the fighters here shiver. I feel my back cold. I can't stand my body. The dessert is also in panic, opening looking its eyes through wide. The neck of the ocean carrying the urinal membrane. Disappear outside into black gear. When I was 8 years old, the face was soon watery. When I was 8. 2 eyes do not cry out loud. You really are my master. His reason is hard to believe. On the emotional side, he accepted. Li Yunxiao said, remember when you were outside? The great God told me. You said you would definitely practice the Holy Spirit to the extreme. Then beat me. Li smiled and raised his hand. Fingers draw circles on general stitching. Immediately give birth to yin and yang fish spinning. He uses only the sword to point forward. Said quietly without stopping the Hao Nu yet. This was the first of 2 fights with the old man of the sky ravishing Feiyang. But just look through 1 by 0 how to capture the essence, but it's so lifelike. Normal people are hard to distinguish. This is the second form. The vast air sword roams the familiar Kwang sword displayed raw in front of the urinal membrane. Keep your head close to the ground and cry. Your teacher is indeed your teacher. The master is not dead. His choking cry echoed through. When you cry, laugh haha. Just feel. Because it's daytime. Because of what the associate turned into. He doesn't care either. Because no matter what the current state of the Vice Master is, there's no one who can stop it. The Master's footsteps. He laughed to say, I know in the world, there is absolutely no one who can hurt the teacher. He laughed and said, Don't speak so softly. I almost died too. But the soul under the spell. It's just a coincidence. He next brings a simple talk. Let the urethra hear a little. To hear the urinal membrane piercing. Startled. I can't believe the Emperor has entered the 9 heavenly martial emperors. If you have, you are born. Because I'm not looking for brothers. Use everyone's power. It can help you quickly restore power. Smiling, he said they were great. I can't find it if I want to. It was hard to find the missing king, back into the exoplanet. If you don't come back, you will fall to Mars. The opposite is you. Why is it here? Sao is possessed by the evil spirit of South Mars Venus. This time, if there is no master, I fear this life will become a slave to evil spirits. He thought about it with fear on his face. That day after I left my master. Then he returned to the Black House. God's people suddenly decided to let me. The more I tell myself not to practice this technique, not to the top of the wind. The sheep are conservative. We are also safe in the Forbidden Land. The old man pointed out. Goddess Grace is also the Lord said that there was such a thing. It is said that you were locked up in the Black City. I want to come and see it. Use grace like you. Although there are insects that can be martial, the desert will not teach you. But you are the exception. Because you're so excited. That's enough to make up for it. It's because of preventing emotions, dissatisfaction of everyone. You are now in the Forbidden's place. Tell the outside that you're Forbidden's. The teacher is right. When we return to the desert, we are looking for the end of the world. Others we don't meet. Go directly to the Forbidden's place. I kept asking the old man to respond. God's word suddenly decided to let me. This time is 15. There is a light in his eyes. Obviously this 15 is very important to him. Let's talk about it later. To hear the absolution of the Holy Father exiled to the Holy Land. I'm worried he's in danger. At this time, I do not regret breaking the will of the old man. The disciples learned that the Master was still lost 15 years later. Li Yunxiao. You're right to nod. Not long after breaking up with you. We also because of an event in the mountains. I can't believe. His face changed extremely quickly. It seems that there is a hidden love that does not speak directly. That be true. Nature knows the nature of the universe. He doesn't want to talk. No one can make him open his mouth. If you wait for him to speak, you will know. Urine continues to speak. This is also known in the mouth of sheep. They left the holy place. They are still stared at. If we chase him to the south, he's in danger. I angrily killed the enemy's 9 heavenly martial emperors. It is also in this battle. I knew the Master was dead. Under anger, you are also stayed at the hospital to be healed. But that pity. The Lord's Prayer speaks from the state of your sheep. You enter the mind. You must have hit the North Korean air in your body, on the surface of the urine through hatred. Nods and says. He is a master of the northern Minghaian Use back Minghaian air directly into my body, extremely difficult. They still use all kinds of drugs, but that doesn't stop it from turning bad. This kind of situation straight to for years over a year. Raw flowers require a lot of medicinal materials. From the Feng Shui Association, I know one thing, Lord Lin said. He's got a lot of Venus and Mars. Maybe it's my trauma. He also gave me to the Lord. Then we go into the labyrinth. Talk about here. On the surface of the urine piercing carries a ray of fear. Stop talking about the purpose of Lord Lin telling me to enter the labyrinth. I also understand that he was just using me to find mine. According to our needs, we are happy to agree. But it's not like everyone is on the boat. It's when the principle comes into us, the more we get into the altar. He said, this mine a few years ago, the founding fathers have discovered. Hard to blame generous. Let us explore for so long. Failed to find the correct route. But it's also hard to blame. Even if they use sea tactics, constantly drawing maps. You can't draw the land. Exactly what you enter the altar. Whether or not the statue was injured. Peeyang is right. The master must have seen the Kia statue. At that time, I had hurt. But under the atmosphere of Mars, there were signs of control. It's pressurized. There is so much joy in my heart. I don't think the Kia statue is It's a force that moves into our spiritual consciousness. I want to fight it too. Even when we suffer. Climb against the evil Kia. The evil spirit has entered my people. The same evil forces occupy my body. I became a slave. He said the statue is a monster. It's hard to find You feel bad now. That little piercer laughed said, controlled by evil spirits, we only have one benefit. It's against North Korea. In my person. Make people flirt. Is that at the time of the evil spirits? Now we can restore our spirit, the Korean. But since North Korea's Ming dynasty has been slowly unraveling, the less time we have to restore our minds. It's finally good now. North Ming Korea sound is removed, evil spirit is suppressed. Thanks to the professor, physical color pepper carries a cold layer of bones. As the eye says, the northern lights want to die. Between us and them unresolved. I dare to strike my disciple. The 7 superpowers will have to turn into 6. That P through the sutra says. They must have thought the master was dead. They may not respect anything. Help the sheep of the desert. Use your master's power now. Thousands cannot reveal their identities. It is not too early to fight the northern lights. They will get close. Don't be worrying, I have my own limits. Although it is currently in the northern there are not many people who can kill me. His biggest theme is magic. If you hide in here, there's basically nothing to do. Unless the top martial artist. It can disrupt the world of energy. As well as the flower. Only that day using the law. Break the world Chi-Chi bring billion brother Vu dream away. If there is no such emperor. They are not capable of destroying Goddess will. That P. Piercing also prays. Master has this super Finding the northern Manhua palace is also at hand. Li Yunxiao said. Today, the undersea martial arts world is starting to kick off. Soon. Will you come back to me or stay with me? The little girl laughed and said, I naturally went to Theo next to the old master. The angel suddenly decided I had it. The lack is more fire. I want to stay with the master to protect the old man. You currently only have 8-star martial arts practitioners. It's just extremely dangerous. And the black face said, you are normally in this world of magic. There are a few friends here too. Tomorrow we're going to dance. Do you need to say goodbye to your dog or not? Yarnell say. I am here to avoid you worrying about me. Ricky nodded and said that's good. He replaced you with my friend. Bring him some words. Friends can send a message. Paranasal or difficult to understand. Hands up. At this time, a Korean photographer This appeared. Is the master of desert Ho Nguyen. You are the one with the concussion. Immediately recognize the person in front of you. In a hurry to speak, Ra the Gaohan master. Doubt in his heart. I don't know at the Korean Academy, back in the magic world. Gaohan chills a voice that does not need a ceremony. I am now only a prisoner of your master. Prisoners on the forehead wearing piercing cold finally sweat. Understand what happened. Immortality spell trainer. Prisoners in the world. Only a master would dare to do this. But Gaohan is the master of the Ho Desert. No matter what, he can't say the 7 deities. I don't know what the master said. Do you want me to bring you flowers? Gaohan said he attacked level 8. You can go back to the temple to find me. I have something important to entrust to him. Seeing the suspicious look on the urinal fascia. Haihan tablet supplement. I am now just a soul. It's just like your martial artist's clone. God is still in the Holy Land. That's what Ra is. The master's words I can't stop hearing the horror. The normal body is difficult to escape from the body. I don't know what the enemy uses. For the training of teachers. He has always been very respectful. She is the master of the desert. Natural magic is not small. There's no need to talk about our status quo. He looked over at the place where he disappeared. Back to gas. He is getting used to living in the world. Got by. The more he is able to control the fire. Didn't want to leave. That piercing said. Master, you detained the great monk, whether he knows or not. Laughing, of course I don't know. If I knew he was coming for me, I'd risk my life. That piercing anxiously said. If you let the flower come back to meet the master's master, he will not doubt Cao. Why did you say no? If his father came to, or at least catch it, fit for two people to join as a much increased force, it can be used well. The more you say that, the sword he needs is too hard to it. Even more so than in the 8 phases of Gaohan. It is difficult to say how much exercise, but the 9 stages of training are different. That through the eyes of Li Van Pepper lit up, immediately startled. The consequences he did not dare to think. What if a 9-year-old is missing 9 training techniques? This is Master Chen. Move the galaxy, he said the assistant. We should also go say goodbye to the flower. He said that if he had to go to heaven, we are afraid to follow us to dance. Your brothers can accompany you. But without revealing my identity, Ra. In front of outsiders, and I so can say that I am missing Master Van. He looked like a monster, but he was happy. Master is not dead. They can return to the Holy Land. I am also free from evil. The body feels the bright sun. He laughed for a few hours. Be disgraced by reason. Out of the gods, I flew to find the desert. Then he started to practice his art. He is currently missing the world. Physical characteristics need too much human principle. Venus is the same as Dan. The air seeps into the intestines and the liver to speak freely. These primordial Venus South fares enough to get us through the 7 stages. I don't know how much time it takes. Li Van Pepper thought to start the absorption. His body was covered in a red aura. The gas is as dense as frozen. For preventing elemental fire from harming the body. The whole body flesh has a yellow exposing appearance. The immortal state of the primary Kim body. The current theory has been confirmed. There is still the rule of law. Because he's been training for a while. To the extreme. There is no law behind it. But this state of his is less arrogant. Really different. To deal with a few martial artists they may be reluctant to use. But you can't deal with the 9 celestial emperors. After thinking about it, he worked hard. An eye-rolling night passed the next day. There's a voice outside of Secret 7 that needs to be heard. He said everything was well prepared. Missing items can be removed. Van Pepper resurfaces to recover the into the small gas. Talk. A tin fong. Duanhe martial arts can break through. Vo Huang also makes sense of the school. Li Van Dao changed clothes. Just open the secret door 7 Ra. Someone is waiting outside. A group of American women divided into 2 sides. The one on the left needs a white shirt. There is a fragrant bag on the body side. Like a beauty in the green grass. As bright as spring flowers. Ginseng Drive also dressed exquisitely. On the neck carrying just large like the buffalo lady. Beads. Cheerful face standing behind his back. On the right side is the same root canal. He is also smiling at him. In the eyes of the flower is filled with appreciation. There is also a small legend standing behind the back of the flower. Smiling figure. But in the smile also carries fear. The man who saw this dress was surprised. He laughed and said I was going to dance. There's no need to be so formal. No different than a king. He laughed and said he was missing. It's a big thing that we're going to be a dancer. It's no different than an emperor. It's not enough to need a respectful president. Master Tian said yes. Need to laugh quietly. Not to mention missing. The current extremely high reputation in the city whether it is minor trans major cuz one of them is a major emperor. One is the 8 stages of training. Just the 2 of them were enough to rock the whole of South Mars. Originally went to the bartender Thank you warehouse. Very much for my lack of help. HOA is very grateful. This gift is unforgettable for a lifetime. Li Venzi laughed and said the customer, my wife and I are old acquaintances. Save him, of course. The dessert is listening carefully. Into the fog. Use the age of the mouse to look at it. More urinal penetration missing 15 last. You two are old acquaintances. But he said that, and he smiled. Seems to admit. Even if you have doubts, don't ask. I need to say the time is not early. Let's go. Li Van focus forward 1. The people are going to the trade fair. The other side of the world has a lot of information. They also sent someone to wait at the door. He saw reason coming. Also smiling enthusiastically. Should pick up. For a moment I saw two brothers next to me. The desert was as cold as ice. The face immediately changed. Especially gas. It's like a stitch on the urinal.